Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Now today I'm going to be talking about the Overwatch League Week 4 matches this time. And there was some craziness, but not really, and I'm very worried about one particular team, which I'll get into very soon. But before we get into that, let's first talk about Week 5 matches. Now, because the East region has finished, and they'll be now going over to the Summer Stage Knockout Qualifiers, is actually currently going to be the West region for the remaining 2 weeks. So, since we only have 7 matches, I'm pretty sure it looks like, so it's not really a lot. So first one, maybe, I'm not really too sure of these four. Maybe Gladiators and Excelsior, maybe. The Excelsior has been having a good run recently. Gladiators, I'll get to them later. And then for the next one, Boston and Florida, that'll be a really good one. And maybe even Toronto Titans, that'll be also a pretty good match as well. But let's now have a look at this week's matches, and here they are. So first, start off with the Guangzhou Charge versus the Seoul Dynasty. The 3-1 victory for the Seoul Dynasty against the Guangzhou Charge. The Charge, they have a new roster, full Chinese roster, with the Jinmu as they've added, and they also got rid of Tai Dolla and Sungwoo. Sungwoo and Tai Dolla. I'm pretty sure those are the former coaches of the Guangzhou Charge. They have now left. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I do not think there is any coaches on the Guangzhou Charge. So they're definitely struggling now with this new roster. But Prophet got MVP, and the only map that Guangzhou Charge won was in Circuit Royale. And I'm pretty sure next was at the WDG Esports Studio, which was Panthera versus Poker Face. It was a reverse sweep from Panthera against Poker Face. Pretty sure Poker Face. Well, no, I'm pretty sure it's Panthera. Panthera is basically is a top team of contenders. Well, I should say, out of all of the contenders teams, which really surprised me. But to be fair, their roster is stacked. So Poker Face, they won the first 2 maps, that being Busan and Midtown, and Panthera won the other 3, Dorado, Colosseum, and Ilios, and Becky gained MVP for that. The Seoul Inferno, they continue their dominance as they win against the Shanghai Dragons, a 3-1 victory for them. The only map that the Dragons won was the Watchpoint Gibraltar, and Zest gained MVP. Now over to the West, the Houston Outlaws, they beat out the Toronto Defiant, 3-1. The only map that Defiant won was in Ilios, the first map, and Happy gained MVP. Oh, LA Gladiators. Actually, I just realized it's actually going to be a rematch. I did not realize that. So, what are the Gladiators doing? I don't know what the hell happened to the LA Gladiators, but they have fallen off a cliff. I remember that they were inside, I'm pretty sure, of like the top 6, I think, before the before the Summer Stage qualifiers, and then they just fell off. Now they're the last team currently looking inwards into the top 10, top 9, I should say. So not good look now for the Gladiators, and they even lost to the NYXL, which, to be fair to them, they have improved massively with their new roster change of adding OG into the lineup. They've massively improved, so I'll give a shout out to the Excelsior there. But what the hell was happening to the LA Gladiators that they've just fallen off a cliff? My God, it's actually pretty depressing to see. But either way, it was a reverse sweep from the NYXL. Gladiators obviously won the 2 matches, that being Arctic Peninsula, and Nambani. And the Excelsior won the next 3, and Fitz gained MVP. Then give Titans, they win a very convincing 3-0 victory against Vegas Eternal. No surprises here. Punk gained MVP for the Titans. Then now for the East, Hangzhou Spark won a very close game against the Dallas Fuel, which kind of surprised me since that Spark, they've been looking like a 3rd place team. It was mainly the Fuel and the Inferno who was looking really good, and the Fuel kind of fell off here in my opinion. Li Tao and Circuit Royale were the only 2 maps that the Dallas Fuel won, that being map 1 and map 3, and 2, 4, and 5 went to the Spark, and Goose gained MVP. O2 Blast, after pretty sure they added 2 new players into the roster. I know one of them was Lego. I can't remember who the other one was, and I apologize for that. But they look a lot better now compared to their last couple of weeks. But they beat up Poker Face, a 3-1 victory for them. The only map that Poker Face won was Circuit Royale, and Profit gained MVP, PHET Profit. The Guangzhou Charge, they lose pretty horrendously to Dreamers, 3-0 victory for Dreamers, and Top Dragon getting MVP. I don't know what the hell happened to the Charge. They just, once again, just like the Gladiators, have fallen off since the Spring Sage. Now over to the, actually, I'm pretty sure, is this? Yes, never mind. There's one more I need to talk about for the East, and that'd be the Soul Inferno versus the Soul Dynasty, the Battle of Soul. A 3-0 victory for the Soul Inferno, and even though Zezkin got MVP, the big story was Poko. The French superstar, the French diva bomb, the Poko bombs were back, and this was his first Overwatch League match since his time in the London Spitfire last year, I'm pretty sure. So it has been quite a long time since he's actually played on Sage, and he played exceptionally well in that final map of Circle Royale. So, yeah, I would not be surprised if we maybe see a bit more Poko, possibly, but maybe this is just a one-off, possibly. But I'm not really too sure. But Poko, he did a great job. Full Soul Inferno, and yeah, once again, this game MVP against the El Sol team. Okay, now we're back on track now as we get over now to the West, and it was a 3-1 victory for the Houston Outlaws against the LA Gladiators. The Gladiators only lost at Route 66, a 3-2 victory for them, and Happy getting MVP from the Outlaws. The Washington Justice, they beat out the New York Excelsior, even though, to be fair, the Justice, they've been looking pretty bad and pretty mid most of the time. 3-1 victory for the Justice. Circle Royale was the only map that the Excelsior won, and Flora getting MVP. He got his revenge on the San Francisco Shock after the Shock dropped him. A 3-1 victory for the Titans against the Shock. Only Namani was won by the Shock, and Hisang pretty fittingly got MVP against his former team. The Titans, they really impressed me in this week, and they've also locked themselves as well into the play-ins at least. There's a chance they might get into the playoffs, but it's highly unlikely since the top 4 teams have been looking really good and really close as well. So, Titans, I think they'll be happy with at least a play-in berth, but I don't think the Shock have actually locked themselves yet into play-ins. Now, as we now move over to the East for the final time, a 3-2 victory for the Dallas Fuel against Panthera, Numbani, and Watchpoint Gibraltar, map 2 and 3, went to Panthera, the rest went to the Fuel, and Sparkle gained MVP. Under Spark, they beat out Dreamers, 3-1 victory for the Spark against Dreamers. Dorado was the only map that Dreamers won, and Leave gained MVP. And the Shanghai Dragons, they beat out O2 Blast, Route 66 was the only map that O2 Blast won, and Viper gained MVP. And now for the final 2 matches for this week on the West, it was a very close 3-2 victory for the Toronto Defiant against the Washington Justice. Ikevold and Esperanza, both of them going to the Justice, and it was Kaluge getting MVP for that. And the final one, no surprises here. The San Francisco Shock, they beat out Vegas Eternal. No surprises here. Probe getting MVP. What do you really have to say about that absolute shitbox of a team? I also just checked as well the O2 Blast. They added Lee Soo Min, formerly from the Soul Dynasty, to their roster. So we'll first have a look at the East standings since they finished. The Dallas Fuel are the first seed, followed by the Soul Inferno. So the second place curse, even with the rebrand from the Philadelphia Fusion, is still in effect for the Inferno. Then we have the Hungry Spark and the Soul Dynasty. All 4 of those teams will have a bye on the first round. We have Dreamers, Shanghai Dragons, Panthera, O2 Blast, Poker Face, and in last place, surprisingly, the Guangzhou Charge. Even though Poker Face and the Charge, both of them tied with the same map record and same map differential, that being 822 and -14, and even the same map record as well, 1-7. So, sorry, match record. So yeah, it's getting a bit spicy there down at the very bottom, sadly. As now for the West, the Atlanta Rain is still on top. Then we have the Florida Mayhem, Houston Outlaws, the Boston Uprising, and the Vancouver Titans, like I mentioned before, have locked themselves into play-ins. And then we had the San Francisco Shock, New York Excelsior, Toronto Defiant, the Washington Justice, and the London Spitfire have moved down 3 spots after not playing at all in week 4. And down in 11th place is the LA Gladiators. Pretty sure the Gladiators, they need to win basically the rest of the week. In week 5 and week 6, they need to just win. If they don't win, and the London Spitfire do win, then the Gladiators' chances are looking much more slim of a possible playoff berth even. for that team. And down in 12th and 13th are the Los Angeles Valiant and the Vegas Eternals. They both were eliminated from week 3. So that's really it for the standings. Let's now have a look now at the Summer Stage knockout for the East. So obviously, along with the 10 teams, Fuel, Inferno, Spark, Dynasty, Dreamers, Dragons, Panthera, O2 Blast, Poker Face, and Guangzhou Charge, we have Synpreza Gaming and Rhodes coming up from the East Opens. This is what Group A first looks like. We have Poker Face versus Panthera and Rhodes versus Dreamers. Whoever wins against Poker Face and Panthera will verse up against the Dallas Fuel. And for Rhodes and Dreamers, it will be the Hangzhou Spark. And for Group B, we have the Guangzhou Charge versus the O2 Blast, and and Synpreza Gaming versus Shanghai Dragons. Whoever wins against the Charge and O2 Blast will verse against Soul Inferno, and whoever wins against Synpreza Gaming and the Shanghai Dragons, Soul Dynasty will be the opponent. So, there's a possible chance we may see maybe another Soul rematch, but we just have to wait and see. But I will not be doing another video of this until August 24th, I'm pretty sure, 26th. We have a 2-week off for some reason of no Overwatch League, sadly. But just a reminder as well that these are next week's matches as well. Mainly just the West, including Week 6. Week 6 will also involve the rest of the West matches. So that's really about it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys next time in the next one. Goodbye.